This is the Coach Bohl Football Show, presented by Gate City Bank.
National champions again. North Dakota State once again went into Sam Houston State's backyard and took care of business. The Bison are just the fourth team in FCS history to repeat as national champions. And this time there was no drama. Total domination in front of a Bison-dominant crowd. Bison Nation truly did occupy Frisco, Texas. The celebration continues in the state of North Dakota to this hour. NDSU once again gains national exposure for the Bison program and its growing legion of fans. In the next half hour, we will extend the fun, take a look at highlights, and hear from all the major contributors. Coach Bohl is not with us this morning as, like last season, he immediately departed Frisco for the National Coaches Convention. But back to the celebration. When the team landed in Fargo a few hours after the game, those who couldn't make it to Frisco were waiting, in freezing temperatures nonetheless. This was the scene at the Fargo Dome.
Let's go Bison! Let's go Bison!
Greatest teammates in the world, greatest coaching staff. Just a big thank you to everybody, and I just say thank you to you guys. Thank you, Bison Nation. You guys are the best fans in the world, man. We had a lot of people down there. I love you guys, man. You guys made this goal, man. I swear, man. Something's gonna miss you guys. You guys are the close, man. You made that goal, bro. I love you too, man.
Oh, wow, the fun's just getting started. That was a great moment after the team got back last night, but we're going to really dissect this thing over the next 20 minutes to a half hour. We're going to show you highlights. We're going to take you back to Frisco, chat with head coach Craig Bohl, athletic director Gene Taylor. We'll have our Nodak Mutual Insurance player of the game, so stay with us, folks.
That first year was 6-5 in the Missouri Valley, and T-Roll was hurt a lot, and we didn't have a lot of continuity, a lot of distance between the older guys and younger guys. And then going 3-8 was horrible. But coming back 9-5, 14-1, and now 14-1 again, it's crazy. To finish off with 2 national championships is pretty awesome.
And then the talent left on this team to go beyond this year, and you get to sit back and watch now and how good these guys can be.
I mean, we're only losing me and Rick. I mean, and you know, they can plug in anywhere. Last year we lost Paul Cornick and Austin Richard, 2 really good guys. We plugged new guys in there, and we came back this year. There's always an opportunity, especially with an experienced group like this back here.
Great comments from one of the few seniors on this team. We're going to miss you, Joe, but he is right. Next year should be something. Plug a few guys in here or there, but the core of this team is back. But let's not finish celebrating what has already transpired in this legendary run by the Herd. The atmosphere and turnout by Bison Nation had Sam Houston fans and administrators admittedly jealous. And it all started 3 hours prior to the kickoff. The fans gave NDSU a rock star welcome getting off the bus. Thundar got the crowd going. The Gold Star Marching Band was on hand. The cheerleaders and cheer squad were on hand. The fans started lining up more than 30 minutes prior to the buses getting there. Sam Houston State fans even gathered to see the spectacle. The roar started as the buses turned the corner at FC Dallas Stadium. Coach Bohl was the first off the bus, and the intensity stayed until the last player was in the locker room. Well, so we've set the stage as far as the atmosphere and excitement. Well, what created all of the excitement? It was the actual game, of course. What a performance by the Bison. Superior preparation, superior execution. Let's take a look at the ground level highlights in sparkling HD for you from Frisco, Texas, FC Dallas Stadium. Incredible scene at kickoff as the team took the field. Early on in the ball game, Sam Houston State was moving the football. In fact, on the day they had 275 yards passing, only 116 rushing, but they weren't getting any points early on in the ball game. This play right here got the Bison going. John Crockett, a career-long 57-yard run, flipped the field. The field position was poor for the Bison early in the game. Crockett had 11 carries for 82 yards. The Bison would end up getting a field goal. Very important. They got on the board first and were ahead 3-0. The interesting part of the game, they were going after Marcus Williams early. Worked a few times, but they ultimately paid the big-time price. They kept going at Marcus. and Marcus had multiple interceptions in this football game, turning the momentum. The first touchdown, Brock Jensen would score on a keeper, and the Bison Nation was in full throat at this point. 10-3 was the score. NDSU had 8 carries for 44 yards again for Brock Jensen. Just a stellar performance. But right before half, the Bearcats hanging around, tied it up, 10-10. There was under a minute to go when this play happened, and they would score. So it was 10-10 at the break. But as the second half started, the rout was on. The domination was on. John Crockett was big. This might have been a touchdown had he been able to keep his feet, but he showed his muscle in every aspect of the game. The sneak made it 17-10. Now, Tim Flanders, one of the great running backs in the country, was held to 53 yards rushing. Amazing on 19 carries. Now this 4th and 1 play, look at Brian Bell, the quarterback of Sam Houston State, gets absolutely destroyed by Kyle Emanuel. They don't get it. Brian Bell was hurt. The Bison go into the end zone, get a wild 2-point conversion. Suddenly it's 25-10. The Bison were ready with some tricks too. Beautiful play from Crockett to Vodlin. So John Crockett threw for 26, rushed for 82, had a passing score, was catching the ball out of the backfield, doing everything. Brock Jensen finished that one off. 32-13 was the score at that point, and they finished with an exclamation point. At this point, Sam Houston State's will had been broken. They were ready to get back on the bus to Huntsville, Texas, where they are from, about 3 hours south of Frisco. 14 carries for 92 yards for Ojuri, 2 touchdowns, 39-13. This is a national title game, total domination by the Bison. You see the stats, 9 of 16 for Jensen, very efficient, no turnovers. Ojuri and Crockett were outstanding. Carlton Littlejohn, LJ, had 11 tackles for that dominant Bison defense. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
You know, I thought the turnovers were really critical, us being able to control the line of scrimmage. That was really important. I thought defensively, you know, we gave up some yards, but did a good job keeping them out of the end zone, and it's very rewarding to come up with a back-to-back national champions.
But talk about that accidental play, just being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, you know, I didn't know what was going on. I kind of turned around, and LeCompte was pitching it to Keller, and it was my job to release, and I did. And he threw it up to me, and I ended up with it somehow, I guess.
When was the last time you made a catch?
In high school, I had like 3. I was pretty much another tackle, but I played tight end, and I haven't been in the end zone since like 8th grade. So
you ready to celebrate when you got in?
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
These guys are a better team than last year. I mean, they came in with a good game plan. I mean, especially on the offensive side. I mean, their game plan was I mean, they didn't care who was that cornerback. They were going to throw the ball. They were just going to keep throwing it. But our coach told me, Coach Kleiman, he said, it's good that they're throwing the ball because you're going to make it plays to end the game or just turn the game around. And I mean, I just bought into that, and I just try to do my job as well as I can.
Oh, I'm just so thankful. You know, there's about a week ago, right now, I didn't think I was even going to be able to make the trip. And thank the Lord I was able to just get on the plane, let alone play. Words can't really describe what I'm feeling right now. This is such a blessing, such an honor. I'm so thankful to be a part of this team, coaches, everybody involved. It truly is a blessing.
Like it worked all year long. Once we get the ball in the second half and keep pounding the ball down the middle, eventually they start bending and breaking. And as you can see, things started moving and broke a couple plays off. And then next thing you know, score ended up like it was.
Well, you know what, we talked last night as a group about level of satisfaction. And I think the only thing that would have done that today was a victory like this. And for me, individually, having been a part of the program and now to be part of 2 back-to-back, you know, you really feel satisfied in looking out in that crowd and seeing all the former players, all the fans, because it's everyone's championship. It's not just us coaches and players, it's everyone's, and, you know, enjoy it, and we'll do the best we can to see what we got next year.
Tremendous comments. In fact, Chris Kleiman and Brent Vegan deserve big-time credit. Being at every game this year, going into each game, I felt like the Bison were 7 points ahead at the opening kickoff because I knew of the advantage with the coaching staff. It was apparent. Week in, week out, you see the Bison out-coach people, and that all starts with Coach Bohl. Well, now it's time for our Nodak Mutual Insurance Player of the Game. Brock Jensen, the junior starting quarterback who now has 32 wins as a starting quarterback at NDSU, was really good in the title game. Not eye-popping stats, but Sam Houston State was turning it over offensively. Not the Bison. Great control of the huddle. 44 yards rushing. Tremendous leadership by Brock Jensen ultimately led to another title.
But it takes a great deal of resiliency from a group of young men like us, and also our coaching staff. Can't say enough about them putting us in the right position, keeping us focused all year long, putting goals out there for us to be able to reach, and just driving us as hard as they can.
Kid's a winner, folks. He gets it done. He's over 30 W's. That is hard to do. Well, coming up, Coach Bohl is not with us today. As I mentioned, he's in Nashville, Tennessee for the National Coaches Convention. But we sat down with Coach Bohl right after the game, got his raw emotion. It's a lengthy interview with the head coach. Stay with us.
It's the pinnacle of a coaching career. And 24 years of coaching, I can't think of a place I'd rather win a national championship than North Dakota State.
I talked to Coach Kleiman about stepping into the driver's seat as defensive coordinator, keeping the ship going in the right direction. And he said Coach Hazelton set the bar pretty high. Where you and the rest of the defensive staff was able to keep everything going with the #1 defense in the country and produce another national championship. Talk about what pressures you might have had and how great it feels to just achieve that success.
Well, I just want to say I think Chris has done a tremendous job. I mean, the fact that he came in and still allowed everyone to have input, and he really kept the ship going. He does a great job of calling a game, got great timing, and the fact that all 4 of us could just assimilate as fast as we did, and they brought me in with them, really says a lot about Coach Bohl and Coach Kleiman.
Steve Stannard, another very underrated addition to this staff by Craig Bohl in the offseason. Beyond the head coach and coordinators, the rest of this staff puts in the work and is a huge part of the success, no doubt. Steve Stannard brought a ton of experience to that defensive staff this season. Coach Bohl, as I mentioned earlier, is not with us this morning. He's in Nashville, Tennessee for the National Coaching Convention. But before he boarded the plane in Dallas, Jamal Spencer sat down for our Gate City Bank interview with the head coach.
Coach, it's a year later, but we find ourselves in the same spot, another national championship. Talk about how fortunate you and your guys are to win another one.
We're really fortunate. It's hard to do. I want to say thanks to our players and all the support people, coaches, because it took a great deal of effort by a lot of people to have a chance to get here, and then to get in here and win it is certainly rewarding.
Back-to-back national championships, something that's hasn't been done a lot at the 1AA level. You can name a couple programs off the top of your head, but now NDSU fits into that category. Talk about what this does for the program, Coach.
Well, I think it significantly changes how we're perceived. Certainly winning one is special, but when you can go back-to-back, now that transitions into an elite program. And I'm sure that a lot of people around the country will start to recognize that we've got special things going on at NDSU.
And I know you have a great sense of pride for NDSU and a great sense of history. As you know now, you're just a couple wins shy of becoming the winningest coach in the history of NDSU. When you came here 10 years ago to now, talk about how things have changed and how you've grown as a coach.
Well, a lot has changed. Gene Taylor's done a great job leading our total athletic department. We were a Division II school, and then we were a transitional school, and our fan base and the outpouring of support has changed. Our institution's changed, and I think everything's gone step together. It's been a very rewarding transition. As far as winning the most games, I really have not thought about that. It's much more important for us to keep on winning these football games.
Talk about the opportunity to win those football games. Earlier this week, made it known that you signed an 8-year contract extension to be here for a while, making it known that this is a place that you and your family felt comfortable and that you wanted to be here. Talk about making that commitment to NDSU.
Well, I think it's important. When you have an administration and a program that is very supportive, it's conducive for success, and it fits kind of who you are as well. Those are few and far between in college football. And so I appreciate Gene Taylor's commitment in our football program and likes the direction we're going. And so I was excited to sign that extension.
Joe Lund told us earlier that he feels that he left the program in a better situation than when he found it, and that he feels that he grew here and his senior class was able to produce something special going forward for NDSU. Would you agree with that?
I would definitely agree with that. When Joe came here, there was some pretty tumultuous times, and we don't have a big senior class, and those seniors that stayed around and stuck, they are champions, and they did a great job leading this football team.
I know it's early, Coach. You did mention that you don't have that big of a senior class. Tons of juniors and sophomores and freshmen and redshirt freshmen coming back. how exciting is it to look at your program and know you've got a great opportunity for a strong group of men next year?
You know what? That'll be it's kind of a double-edged sword. Everybody's going to be patting the guys on the back. We certainly have a lot of ability coming back, but it'll be a new year. You know what? We're going to sit back and enjoy this championship probably for more than 24 hours. And maybe in 48 hours, I'll start addressing that.
I was going to ask that. Last year you had the 48-hour rule that got stretched a little bit. Another national championship, another celebration with a big group waiting for you back home, Coach.
Well, you know what? We've got the best fans in America. I mean that. And so we're going to be excited to come back to Fargo.
All right, Craig, congratulations on your title.
Thank you.
Well, fans celebrate that lengthy contract extension for Craig Bohl. Tremendous leadership inside the football program, and also from Gene Taylor, the athletic director. We also sat down with Gene, and we will have that sit-down interview for you coming up. Stay with us.
How did it feel making the most unathletic catch in the history of NDSU?
Sweet, Joe. Well, I got up pretty high, and we put that in the playbook earlier this week, and just worked out really well,
Dude is a beast. Great set of hands, better than Brian Shepard. Would you not agree?
Oh, way better than Brian Shepard. Where's he at, though?
I don't know where Shep's at, but he has terrible hands. So we're glad we threw it up to this guy in that play.
Well, Grant Olson may have a future in broadcasting, but I personally think he would make a great coach as well. Well, beyond the coaching staff and players, the leadership at NDSU is a huge reason for the success. It starts with President Dean Brashani and Athletic Director Gene Taylor. Moments after the title game, Mike Morkin caught up with Gene Taylor in our Gate City Bank conversation with the athletic director.
1 year ago, we sat in this same spot, and we talked about how glorious and wonderful the event was. Here we are again a year later. Describe it.
Surreal, hard to believe. People ask me that, how does it feel being back the second time? And different, really different, because you just never thought you could. I told my staff last year, enjoy this one because you never know when you get back. Here we are back, and when that clock was counting down, it was a feeling of, it's hard to believe. It's so difficult to do, and so proud of our football players and our coaches, and what a great job they've done.
Is one better than the other?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Craig said it in the press conference, it kind of puts your program on a different level, to be able to do back-to-back and have everybody give you their best shot week in and week out, that's hard to do, and I think it sets you apart a little bit from a lot of other people, and it just feels so much different. It feels like, okay, you accomplished something, but you really didn't know what you were accomplishing last year. Now you know, and it feels so much better.
The team is the nucleus, obviously. They hold the title, but there's a core group around them that provides so much support. Have they gotten better?
Yeah, they have. You got your trainers and your strength coach, and they're learning, last year what they needed to do to prepare, because you have a short season instead of weightlifting at a certain time, and how to take care of injuries and how to get them back faster. But the biggest thing, I think, and one of the biggest things, and the players said it, was this fan base is unbelievable. And their support and how much lifting that gives these kids every week in and week out at home or on the road. This was incredible here today, and it helps a lot. So the core has gotten better, and they've gotten bigger, and it's been fun.
Gene, is there such thing as too much support?
I hope not. I worry that we're not going to be able to accommodate everybody with tickets and seating, and you might get frustration there, but I hope people are patient and realize we've only got so many seats in the dome, but every chance we can get them, we'll get a chance to get them in. But I don't know, I hope there's not too much support, and I certainly hope the fans enjoy it as much as we have them. We've enjoyed having them as fans.
There was quite a tsunami of yellow here in this stadium today.
It really was. We kind of expected that. We felt there was going to be 3/4 of the fans, and there was, and it felt like a home game. It was loud, and one of my friends said, hey, if it's loud here, what's it like in the dome? I said, well, it's deafening, but this is fun too.
From a personal standpoint, you win, obviously, as an AD, your career. What does this do for you?
I don't know. I just know that I feel very fortunate that I have colleagues here at this tournament that have never had a chance to be here. They've worked on years and years and years, and here I've had a chance to do it twice. So just very blessed and very lucky, and enjoy it, and just kind of try to step back and say, wow, it's so much fun. It's hard to put words in my mouth to come up with how I feel, but it's pretty special.
Well, from all of us at Valley News Live, thank you so much for your cooperation.
Thank you, guys. You've been phenomenal. You've been with us all year long. We hope it's going to be that way for a long time.
Should we mark our spot here for next year?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it again. Let's plan right now.
Gene, congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it very much.
Great leadership from Gene Taylor, no question about that. And he mentioned it there, but if you want to have some fun, go to that roster on GoBison.com and look at what is coming back for next year, and they very well could be sitting in that same exact spot next season. In fact, let's talk about next season a little bit. The schedule is still kind of in flux a little bit, but we're going to try to break it down here for you a little bit. That first game, it all starts in August. You know, next year at the FCS level, teams are allowed to play 12. The Bison have 11 on the schedule right now with 2 bye weeks. There's going to be a bye week very early. September 14th, actually, there is a bye week, and then in November there's a bye week as well. But that first game against Kansas State, who was just in a BCS game, an incredible opportunity for Bison Nation to travel and show a program like Kansas State, who very well could be the top FBS program that the Bison have played in this run here, is going to be an interesting deal. And then Montana State, a powerhouse in the Big Sky Conference. They've been to the quarterfinals the last 3 consecutive years, will come to the Fargo Dome. What a great environment that will be. The Western Carolina game still a question mark, potentially could not happen. Western Carolina probably watched the game this weekend, and it made their decision a little easier. Maybe they don't want to come up to the Fargo Dome, but we'll wait and see on that. And, of course, the Valley schedule. This Missouri Valley Football Conference is incredible. I think we saw it throughout the course of the year where NDSU had some close games and then really dominates in a championship game. It's unbelievable, the strength of the Missouri Valley Football Conference, and the Bison will do it all over again. But we got a lot to do between now and then. We're going to have the Season in Review DVD. We're going to have a celebration this spring, no doubt about it, at the Bison Showcase, spring football game, spring football. It's going to be fun. It's becoming a year-round event, and it's very exciting. Soak it up, Bison Nation. The Bison are back-to-back national championship. Hard to do. It doesn't happen often. Enjoy the season, and we'll see you back here on the Craig Bohl Football Show next year.